We're no strangers to a property conundrum.
I hate this house. It just doesn't work.
We're on the verge of divorce, aren't we?
No.
Across Britain, many of us are living in properties not built for the challenges of modern life.
But now, more than ever, we need our homes to work hard for us.
The kitchen is useless. It's lots of small rooms and we're always separate.
Yes, our homes need to be more than just the place we live in.
They're where we work, play, socialise, and even exercise.
I want a nice hub so you can talk, eat, chat, homework in one area.
So we're looking back at our most brilliant builds. Graham is a table and one chair.
Where I helped couples tackle renovations of all shapes and sizes.
To show homeowners across the UK and you how to make the most of the space you have. Oh,
Look at that.
that's not what I was expecting.
All in the name of resolving that famous dilemma.
Are you going to love it?
Or list it. Yes, when it comes to renovations, we always have a solution.
We?
I'd like to lend a hand now and again.
Today, it's house versus garden, how to get the balance right.
My feeling is I just want to go like this. Literally, I'm sitting and I just want to go.
It feels claustrophobic.
We're looking back at two couples who, desperate for more space inside,
I can't see how we can grow in any way.
were forced to make a land grab outside.
I mean, it would just go here.
We helped them get the build they needed
That's very cool indeed.
without sacrificing their precious green pastures. Now we'll find out what happened after the big decision.
It did kind of feel a bit like it was supposed to be.
For me, the garden, the outside of a house, is almost as important as the inside. Would you say people extend into the garden and don't appreciate the relationship between the two of them enough?
Yes. Because they just want more space and they don't sort of map it out in the garden and stand and look at it.
Well, square footage is more valuable in the house than it is in the garden.
It is.
But the two do need to work together.
They
and
really
be in
need to work
balance.
together. I've always advocated sheds, posh sheds, garden rooms.
Well, you had a shed.
I had one,
When we first met 20-odd years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's still there. It turned out that that was foresighted. They have turned out to be incredibly useful.
Yes.
And I think that kind of flexible space, whether it's for meditation, yoga, model making...
It's an escape.
It's an escape. Yeah.
And it can be used by different members of the family at different stages
Different
for
times,
different reasons. And they're not expensive, and many of them don't need planning permission.
No, I've never known one not to be a good investment.
Back in 2018, we met Lauren and Christian Grant from Bury St Edmunds, who'd taken the decision to buy extra land to increase their garden size. But even with a bigger garden, they were still at odds over the house itself.
I think the biggest problem is just a box.
Mm-hmm.
The rooms are all square. It's got no history.
I always felt like it could be a forever home.
They bought it after the birth of their son, Oscar. And now, with one-year-old Annie on the scene, Lauren is firmly embedded in their family home.
When I'm at work, I just think, oh, I can't wait to get home. And 100% it is this house.
Christian, not so much.
You look at the outside, it's brown. It is a very beige house.
We could make this house more attractive from the outside.
Well, it's a bit like putting lipstick on a pig, though, isn't it?
No, you can't say that.
Can I not?
No.
Well, if anyone can make a silk purse from a sow's ear, it's my friend Kirstie.
The downstairs space in this house just doesn't work. In the evenings, when we all eat together, we sit there facing the wall, under the units. Mm-hmm. So it is pretty depressing.
Yeah.
On top of the lack of dining space, the lounge can only seat 3 people. And then there's...
The garage is just my personal nightmare. It's just a dumping ground for everything that doesn't have a place.
Christian is saying he's not going to be budged, but equally, I won't be taken away from this house. I just won't.
2 very ingrained camps here, Kirstie, but it's OK. We're on our way to settle this debate once and for all.
Hello.
Hi. Come in.
Thank you. This house is absolutely the dream for a huge percentage of the population because it's that thing you can never get, which is a new build with a really good-sized garden.
What's happened to the garden?
What has happened to the garden?
Yeah. So we this year bought so where that metal fence is, all of that land from the council.
I think it's like 13 metres by about 10 metres.
Yeah. So that's a lot.
What is it that you love about the house, then?
Obviously, the location's perfect for us. Walk to town. Oscar's school is really close. Grandparents are close by. I think all the space is here. It's just about reconfiguring it to make it work for us. This kitchen it's got lots of space, but you have to sit under
It's
this.
massive.
Yeah.
I can see. I'm already worried that Phil's going to delay us by braining him.
Yeah.
It's a little bit tight. Is this the only place that you have to sit in it?
That's right, yeah.
My feeling is I just want to go like this. Literally, I'm sitting and I just want to go.
It feels claustrophobic.
I'm interested, Christian, why are you so convinced that this house can't be improved?
Because it's not got any character. You can add things to it, but it's still never going to be something with history, something with a story behind it.
For your budget, would you be able to get a house with character here in Bury?
I think we'd have to move outside of Bury, and I'm willing to do that.
But Lauren's equally determined to stay.
So this was the dining room. I think it's going to be relatively straightforward for you here.
It is absolutely just about utilising that garden. If it's done well with bifold doors and the garden comes into the house and the house goes into the garden.
A house and garden this size that's walking distance to town is pretty special. With Oscar's school and grandparents on the doorstep, it's a tough location to live up to.
There is enormous opportunity to make this house immensely practical and easy to live in.
One thing you're going to have to be careful of is not just sticking a box on the back. This is a bit of a boxy house.
This is your grandmother sucking eggs, Phil.
I've got 60 grand to revolutionise the downstairs and make the most of their newly acquired garden space.
I think what they've done buying the extra plot has been fantastic. I think there is the opportunity to do something interesting out here,
Really
but you'll
interesting.
actually have to spend some money landscaping this and making it cool if he's going to stay in it.
It's fine.
Phil, I have done this before, you know. I'm cracking on with creating a fabulous family home with all the extra living space this family need.
Your worry that you raised a lot, Christian, is that you've bought all this extra garden and you don't want to build into it and lose it. But I don't think you need to do that.
The family currently live in separate rooms. I plan to extend 3 metres from the back of the house to create the bigger kitchen they're desperate for. Glass doors at the side mean the lawn can come right up to a picture window with seating that looks out over the garden. Internally, the makeshift store in the garage will be split in two, creating a utility room and a proper organised storeroom. The sitting room isn't extended, which creates a sheltered outside patio area for alfresco dining, but losing the dividing arch and moving the partition will make a huge difference to the space.
It leaves you with a 14-foot by 20-foot room.
Wow, yeah.
And I want you, it's big, and I want you to remember that figure, Christian, and I want you to give that figure to Phil Spencer because he has to find you something similar. So what you would have is this great big room, and then you would have an 18 by 14-foot kitchen.
Brilliant.
And I think if we do this the right way, you will really love it. And I'm not saying it'll keep you here forever, but it might keep you here for a bit.
Having the extra big utility and the storeroom, that's going to work really well, isn't it? Moving that wall. And a nice big living room as well. Live in it forever.
I'll be excited to live in it for a little while and then sell it.
We'll see.
I thought your plan was excellent, but what they'd been so clever about was actually sort of thinking outside the box and buying that land off the council and extending the garden. I thought, because if they hadn't have done that, extending into their already fairly small garden wouldn't have worked.
A lot. You see, that's a modern house. A lot of modern houses have two smaller gardens. If you have got a strange, random piece of land which adjoins your garden, it is always worth finding out who it belongs to and finding out if it's available for sale.
In this case, them buying the land actually provided the opportunity to do the extension.
Another couple who needed more space without sacrificing their precious green pastures. Carol and Andrew Pogson in Harrogate. They were happy with their lovely large garden, but it was their house that needed more space.
I want to love it.
And I want to list it.
Love the garden. The house is in a really quiet location. The school that my children currently go to is literally 10 minutes walk down the end of the street. It's been a lovely place to live, and I can see myself being in another 10, 15, 20 years.
But now with 2 kids, Alex and Freya, 3 rabbits and 2 new kittens, the house is crammed full and Carol's had enough.
There is just about enough space, but actually I can't see how we can grow in any way.
And it will need to grow if they are to address another issue that's close to both their hearts. Carol's dad, Dennis, who's now in his 80s, may need a permanent home with them in the future.
If we can offer a space that works for him in the longer term, then that's what we should do.
I'll be here, though.
Or up the Dales. The kitchen is kind of falling apart because it's all 30 years old.
And the awkward layout isn't helping.
I feel like I've always got my back to the family. The kids are often in the dining room where I can't even see them. So I often do feel like I'm quite separate to them. This house has to be listed.
Oh, Phil, look at this.
It's a lovely
beautiful street.
Yeah.
Well-tended houses. Hello.
Hello, good morning. Hi.
Nice to meet you. I'm Kirstie.
Morning.
Very nice to see you.
Morning.
Nice to meet you.
Well, it's a lovely looking house. Can we have a look round?
Of course you can. Come on in.
I agree with you, Phil. It is a lovely looking house, so you can stop thinking about putting your for sale sign up.
We bought this house, just the 2 of us, then we've had 2 children, and it's like now we're full to capacity.
But my father-in-law, we'd like to be able to look after him, and we haven't got the space to look after him, so our idea was to basically have another bedroom so we could stay if he needed to. Downstairs bedroom.
Is there a bigger version of this house available in this area at a budget you could afford?
In this immediate vicinity, no, nowhere near.
I really fancy a village with a village school and a total change of... So I'm up for that. Are you up for that?
It'd have to be something stunning, I think.
Yeah.
On that note, should we go and have a look around?
Yeah, come on. Andrew does not want to move.
He doesn't need to move.
Someone who doesn't like change is going to really struggle with a complete change to a village and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If I'm going to find a 4-bed home for their budget of $475,000, I'm going to have to look out of town.
You need a miracle for the budget.
Well, it depends how far I go.
To heaven?
Dreamland. It's lovely.
But the kitchen's not big enough. There are 5 people here, 2 kids, granddad, mum and dad.
Yeah.
And then if grandma comes up, nephews, nieces, you know,
It's busy.
friends.
It's busy now.
Make the kitchen much, much bigger, more of a family eating thing.
But this isn't just about a kitchen. You've got to create an extra bedroom, as upstairs there's only 3.
I think this is going to be tough for us both.
Do you know what I'd really love now, Phil, is a drone that I could just take up and go and look and see what everyone's done in their gardens. Because someone's got some kind of shed thing there at the end of that garden.
Which gives me an idea. With their love-it budget of 60 grand, they need an extension to house a much bigger and more sociable kitchen where Carol won't feel isolated. They could add a downstairs bedroom and bathroom off this kitchen, or they could build a flexible cabin, perfect for visiting guests or Dennis to stay long-term.
I mean, it would just go here.
But it would mean keeping a chunk of their budget aside for my creative solution.
So, what you need to do is make your kitchen bigger, make your kitchen so that you can eat in it and really have a big family table.
Currently, the kitchen is too narrow and cramped, a bugbear that stopped Carol from loving this house. So I want to extend out to the side and create a kitchen that's around 75 square feet bigger, with a space for a table, and built-in seating where the extended family can gather and socialise. I then planned to free up living space by turning the dining room next door into a proper extra room for the family, by sealing off the doorway and reinstating the wall. This leaves the living room as a grown-up or grandparent space to enjoy in peace.
How much is this moving this kitchen back?
It's 1.5 meters.
So that's quite a lot.
Yeah, it is quite a lot.
Quite a big increase in space.
I like that idea.
Now for the second half of my plan to create living space for Grandpa Dennis. They could make the extension bigger, adding a bathroom and a bedroom here. Or they could consider my innovative approach that would be around 30% cheaper to build, but might be a real curveball.
A purpose-built cabin at the end of the garden with plumbing and electrics, with sitting room, kitchen diner, bedroom, bathroom.
Well, all of them?
Yeah, it's a cabin, basically. It's like Centre Parks.
OK.
Carol's looking slightly shell-shocked, Andrew. What's your feeling about this?
I could see how that would work.
I have to think about it and about how we'd use it.
The extension seems like a cert, but I think my grandpa hutch has thrown them. I really do want them to think about it, though.
A cabin sounds a bit backwoods, but actually some of them are really smart.
Yeah.
Few years.
Kirstie was winning me over all day, and then I don't know, she's thrown me a curveball just before she's gone. I'm not sure about this one.
Quite like it.
OK.
We'll see.
Over in Bury, Lauren and Christian had purchased extra land, allowing them to extend into their garden.
As the old internal wall is removed, there's a first glimpse of the new kitchen space. Will it be impressive enough for Christian?
Oh, wow. That's a quick answer to my question. This definitely has wow factor. That's enormous.
The guys have taken on all my suggestions for the extension, but have opted to make the kitchen even bigger at the expense of the sitting room.
Under the original plan, the wall was being put in here. It could have had a spectacular sitting room and a spectacular kitchen. As it is, it's got a really spectacular kitchen with play area and a pretty compromised sitting room. That's what's worrying me. I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
It's bigger than it looks on paper.
Yeah.
It's much bigger than it looks on paper.
It is much bigger than it looks on paper.
Meanwhile, the living room is now more of a snug. And considering Lauren really wants a space that could seat more than 3, how she organises this room is crucial.
So, what is the current plan for in here?
A sideboard, 60s sort of style, along here.
Great.
And have the TV sort of here.
Okie dokie.
And then have a sofa along here.
What if you had 2 sofas that way? Which would definitely give you more seating.
I hadn't thought about putting the sofas there at all.
I love a cosy living room, and that would make it more cosy.
It would make it more cosy.
Making this house suit their needs better as a family is vital, which is why I'm so pleased with the work going on to turn the wasted garage space into a useful utility room.
That kitchen is going to look so fantastic and feel fantastic because you have got the utility room and you come in, come back from work, come back from school, come back from doing any activity, you just dump the stuff in there. It doesn't make its way into the kitchen.
Yes, I can't wait.
Only 24% of households with garages actually use them to park a car. More often than not, they get filled with junk. But with an average of 18 square metres to play with, the potential of a garage is endless. Important to remember, garage floors are often lower than the floors of your house, so raising the levels to match is a good idea and enables you to carry out damp proofing and insulation of your new floor too. As well as useful utility space, they can be knocked through to create a bigger kitchen, extra reception room, or even an extra bedroom. There's no such thing as a standard garage conversion. Cost is dependent on what you want to use your garage conversion for, but it very often adds value to your home and is a cost-effective way of getting more space. Back in Bury, as the utility is installed, the old garage is on its way to becoming a useful space. And along with the new kitchen, is part of a whole new ground floor that will work brilliantly for the family. Beat that, Pip.
Over in Harrogate, Kirstie's garden cabin suggestion was a step too far for Carol and Andrew, but they did opt for the larger extension. An extra downstairs shower room and bedroom, space for an elderly parent or guests, but still embracing a big family-sized kitchen. There's room to entertain everyone in this new space. And crucially, it's not going to eat into too much of their lawn.
Once we've got the downstairs bedroom, it gives us what we need.
Well, I'm worried it looks a little bit small. Building team keep telling me it's not.
No, I think it looks fine. I'm quite happy with it. I think it'll make a really good size room, so I'm pleased.
Well, seeing as I'm selling it anyway, I'm sure the next people that are going to live here are going to find it very useful as an office.
That's right, Carol. You keep focused on the details that'll look good on the estate agent's brochure when you decide to list it.
So this is going to be the kitchen, and that is going to be the sitting room come potential bedroom sitting room for Dennis.
Where a garage and woodshed once stood are now the beginnings of the extra downstairs bedroom and bathroom. The bigger family-sized kitchen is being extended out to the side.
Here we are, again, in your garden. Beautiful sunshine. But the big difference is this.
Yes.
Are you impressed?
I am mighty impressed. This seems to be merging into the house very well. And it doesn't feel like the garden's been encroached on.
Carol and Andrew's lawn is looking in remarkable shape, considering builders and gardens don't always mix well. But when renovating, there are things that you can do to protect your outside space. Fence off any important parts of the garden from heavy footfall, and place sleepers or plywood over grass to act as a buffer for any machinery. Any soil dug up should be temporarily placed on a hard surface nearby, like a driveway, certainly not on garden plants or the lawn. And tell every contractor working on your property that there is a garden to be protected before they start work.
The outside of the extension is coming along, so I can now start sorting out the kitchen so that Carol won't be cut off from the family, nor will she be surrounded by dilapidated units.
The kitchen's now going to finish here.
So here is the fridge freezer,
Yeah.
full height.
Yes.
Here is units, at the moment undefined.
The layout's working well. Now for the style.
What is the look you're going for?
Definitely a traditional look. What seems to be within my budget is all laminate
And the modern stuff.
modern.
I'm going to show Carol how to achieve a stunning kitchen without blowing the budget, and one that will get her falling back in love with her house in no time. She needn't shy away from cheaper modern units. By combining styles, she can still create a fabulous bespoke look.
Can I show you something? You don't look at that and think modern kitchen.
No.
They all look traditional.
Traditional.
And they're all kitchens that I've refurbished. With every one of them, I started with a pretty basic cabinet, using them as the core to which older elements were added, like wooden worktops and old-style handles to add personality and character.
This is a very shiny black laminate, but the handles we bought somewhere totally different.
I'm all for that. I love that idea.
So to avoid a hit on their budget, it's time to hit the high street and find that standard kitchen that we can make stand out.
Supposedly, we spend £7,000 on average in the UK on a new kitchen. But it's how long is a piece of string? I've seen people spend tens of thousands on a new kitchen. The fact is, you have to fix your budget and stick to it.
Do you think you want to have wood effect, or do you think you want to have a colour?
I'd say a colour.
Yeah, sort of light cream colour, sort of.
Slightly green, maybe. Grey.
Oh. Do you know what I always say to people about houses? Never be afraid of picking the first one you see.
So could you put old-fashioned handles on that?
Yeah, totally.
An old-fashioned worktop?
Yeah. You can have endless combinations of different things and different styles and different influences.
Yeah.
I've got Carol thinking and hopefully excited about a new kitchen, all part of my cunning plan to get her to love her house.
What Kirstie's shown me today is you can have modern and traditional together and make it look okay. Maybe something modern isn't out of the question.
As Carol and Andrew forged ahead with their kitchen, over in Bury, I was trying to convince Lauren and Christian that no matter how great Kirstie's plans for their extension into the garden were, their house was never going to offer them the charm and character Christian was dreaming of. Having grown up in a village, I surmised Lauren could be swayed by country living and widened their search to the rural outskirts of Bury.
So what do you make of this?
Wow, look at that.
A very pretty house.
Yeah.
In a very big plot.
Yeah, look at that garden.
At 30 grand under their £430,000 budget, my first property was a charming cottage.
I love the outside space. This ceiling height down here might be a bit of an issue, I think. I mean, looking at you, Phil, there's not much room left.
Yeah.
But the practicalities of living in a period property and the lack of a fourth bedroom meant this was a non-starter.
So we're missing the fourth bedroom for the character. And
Yeah, the space up here isn't as good, is it, as what we have?
I think it's sacrificing too much.
My second offering was also a traditional style, but modern renovations, including a superb contemporary extension, had kept the ceiling height and room sizes generous.
This is stunning.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
This is absolutely beautiful.
So it's got character and interest, but it hasn't got some of the bits and pieces that you weren't so comfortable about.
There's four bedrooms here. Large, stylish sitting room, a great office, and a huge shed outside that houses a gym, all for the asking price of £425,000.
So nice.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I like the pantry as well. That's
Pantry is just the best. Have a look in there.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Even Kirstie would be
Yeah,
jealous
she would
of
love that. Oh, this is lovely, isn't it? So cosy.
Yeah, it's a really good space. Yeah.
Master bedroom, loads of storage built in, a really smart ensuite with shower.
It's so nice. Yeah,
it's just
lovely.
so well finished, isn't it?
Yes. I don't think there's any compromises here.
No, I think this is absolutely perfect. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Lauren, is it the kind of place that you could see yourself living?
Definitely. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Definitely, I think so.
No. Yeah, OK. Definitely.
Well, this is quite the turnaround from Love It Lauren.
I would definitely consider putting an offer in on this property.
I think even I would, to be honest.
Christian and Lauren weren't convinced by my third property, a 16th century timber frame barn conversion. But they did come to the realisation that selling up was the only way they were going to get everything on their list.
I'm really excited now that we've seen all three properties. It's just proven how much more we can get for our money if we move outside of Bury.
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah, it's so much to think about now. I'm so confused. I am really confused.
I think things have gone brilliantly. I've shown them fantastic properties all within budget. We're just going to have to wait and see now, but I reckon Kirstie should be very, very worried.
Oh, Phil, before you get too smug and start running through those fields celebrating, wait until you see the transformation I'm going to pull off back in Bury St Edmunds.
Hello. Nice to see you.
How's things?
Oh, very good. Phil was just, bracing himself for his loss. Bracing himself.
Come in.
And braced he should be, for gone is the cramped, dated kitchen. And in its place is a spectacular, open-plan kitchen dining space. A truly incredible transformation.
It's huge.
Yeah, it is big. It's so bright.
It is so bright. It is absolutely phenomenal.
So that was a dining area and the kitchen was here. And I sat with my head under the shelf or
Yeah,
something.
no, that was there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep, no more squeezing around the kitchen table here. There's even a kids' play area. Before they felt separated from Oscar and Annie, but now they're in view at all times, even in the garden.
Wow, wow, wow. It brings the garden inside as well. Yeah. So the real secret was buying the extra plot of land, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That unlocked everything, yeah.
It's £80,000 worth of spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on, you're not playing fair.
Yeah.
Your budget was 60.
Though it's easy to see where the extra 20k went, the high-spec kitchen, underfloor heating and an extra metre out.
What to say?
Oh, what have you to contribute,
Well,
Phil?
there is...
Nothing.
I don't see a larder.
The larder was...
The walk-in larder cupboard was.
That was pretty special, wasn't it? 4-bed, detached, character, larder.
Clutching at straws there, Phil. They don't need a larder now the cluttered garage has been replaced with a fabulous utility and storage room.
What have you done here?
Threw a lot of stuff away.
Where did that room come from?
And next door, by removing the arch and dividing the rooms, the extra wall has made this lounge a much more usable space.
So this is kind of halved in size, but actually it's still a really usable room, isn't it?
Halved in size?
Well, it went right through there, didn't it?
I definitely feel it feels bigger in here.
It had an arch.
An arch there.
So it wasn't a particularly usable room. Now it's a really cosy adult sitting room.
I was concerned this room would be small, but the clever layout and Lauren's amazing taste make it the perfect adult space. And for one final bit of magic.
Watch this, watch this. Ready?
Oh! That's very cool indeed.
Yes. Isn't that amazing?
Love it. List it, I mean.
After all, as pretty as it is on the inside, it still lacks character on the outside.
In my mind, it was a question about location versus looks. When we went out looking at houses, certainly two of them, property 2 and property 3, absolutely delivered on your desire for something of interest, of character, individuality.
Yeah, property 2 was absolutely stunning. Loved it throughout.
4 bedrooms detached, lovely garden, country views. It had it all going on. Beautiful village. It would have probably meant a long commute or a change of school, but, you know, these things happen.
Yeah.
You could put it aside for a house like that, though, I think. It was so gorgeous.
But do you want to move? And that
is the question.
So, Lauren, Christian, are you going to love it?
Or list it?
Sorry, Kirstie. You're gonna love it.
Gonna love it, yeah.
I did.
You looked at her and
sorry. When you said sorry, literally, it has happened before. It has happened before that people have really surprised me. So I never bank on it. It's a good decision. It's the right one for the family.
Was that an easy decision, Christian?
I think now looking at how it's finished, yeah, I think it's fairly straightforward. I mean, it's exactly what I wanted to see from this extension. It's you know, it's that space that we can all live in, and it's finished really nicely.
We're so happy with it. So happy with it all.
I think that what you've done is very special. There aren't many houses this close to town with this size garden, with this size kitchen.
So I think it is a great result. Well done. Yeah. Seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
They're very happy. They're very happy.
By buying that extra bit of land, extending the plot, even given the extension, I think they've got the balance right. I do.
Yeah, I think you're right. Absolutely. Completely.
They did brilliantly.
In Harrogate, despite plans for a new extension,
However wonderful Kirstie is with her plans, I'm not sure she can make this space work for us.
Carol was desperate to get out of her 1930s 3-bed and into a house with an extra bedroom for her father, Dennis. And I knew just the man for the job. All I had to do was get husband Andrew on side. My first house lacked the charm the couple were after, but my next home, a 19th century converted chapel, had all the character Carol could wish for.
Stone built.
Oh, wow.
Village house.
Along with 4 bedrooms, commanding views and space for Dennis. But even though it was a staggering 50 grand under budget, it did come with some compromises that Carol and Andrew weren't prepared to make.
This is the extra room.
OK. Compact.
Yes.
You'd literally have a bed and a chair and a little desk maybe.
It feels very enclosed.
Yes.
Because even the window looks out onto beautiful stonework, but it is stonework.
Yeah.
So we had the space in property 1, we've got the character here.
Yeah, yeah. Upstairs is, there's more space than you'd think.
But downstairs feels quite enclosed. Potentially for Dad, if he needs to live with us.
He wouldn't get
he
the
would be
views from the
downstairs.
bedrooms. He'd just get the view of the stone wall.
You look quite relieved all of a sudden, Andrew.
But it was my final property that I was pinning my hopes on, and I think Lady Luck was really on my side for this one.
It's quite interesting where we are now. Because we had our wedding reception on that field there.
You're kidding me.
No.
You know where we're going?
No. Don't know where we're going.
That field there.
Seriously?
Yes.
Yes, on the other side of the field is this chocolate box cottage that actually appears in their wedding photos. Currently being used as a rental, it's not only got bucket loads of charm, it also has bags of space. There are 2 large reception rooms and 5 bedrooms, one of which is downstairs and is perfect for elderly family.
Wow.
Like that. This might be my house.
I'll see.
So we have a reception hallway.
Oh, wow. Log burner.
With a log burner in it.
Hanging space.
Flagstone floor, which continues into the kitchen.
Oh, it's got size and it's got warmth and it's got character.
It's got character.
Character, yeah. Bags of character.
Look at that fireplace. This is a stone-built character property that would be for a forever home, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, depends how much work needs doing on the outside. The roof looks a bit iffy.
He's trying.
He's trying. He's worried. He's worried about how much I like it, and I think at the heart of him how much he likes it.
And so he should be worried. There's even more to like upstairs.
It's a nice room, isn't it?
Look at this. Oh.
It's huge.
Look at the fireplace. Didn't see that. For me, we either love ours or we buy this.
Seriously?
Seriously.
All right, OK. I'm not going to say stunning, it's nice. It's nice.
Like a true Yorkshireman, Andrew's not giving much away. In the garden of the property is a small stone-built annex, not unlike the grandad hut Kirstie had planned.
It's private and self-contained.
Yeah.
And it's got a double bed and a sofa.
Yeah,
here.
and a wardrobe.
And a wardrobe. And a bathroom.
And a garden and a patio
And a garden
and a
and
view.
a patio and a view.
It's not bad, is it?
Not bad at all.
You've somewhat excelled yourself.
I do try, you know, now and again.
I'd buy it tomorrow.
Really? But I hope I've proved to you that actually the dream is possible. You can have everything.
It's in the back of the net.
Looking smug there, Pip, but I'm not worried, as now my plans for their home are complete. They won't be moving anywhere.
Well, we'd better find out once and for all.
Good morning.
How are we?
Good, thank you. Are you coming in?
Yeah, we are. I'm desperate to come in.
Be prepared to be blown away, Phil. What was once a narrow room with dated units
Oh, my word.
is now a beautiful family-sized kitchen.
Oh, my giddy aunt.
Stylishly fitted with chalk grey cabinets, a colour and style we chose together.
It's just dazzling. It really, really is. It just looks absolutely fantastic. Larder cupboard.
Larder cupboard.
Larder
so
cupboard.
things don't get hidden. You can see what you've got in there.
This is nice.
It's fantastic.
It's lovely.
With a sociable island facing the dining area, anyone preparing food no longer feels isolated.
You can see what the kids are up to whilst you're cooking.
Yeah, I can stand there, I can do jobs, I can see into the room, I can see that way, and I can see that way. So from that point, I can see every bit. Yeah.
We had friends and family around.
Yeah.
We managed to get about 11 people, 12
around the
people
table. So.
around the table, so it was good.
Yeah.
And the wooden bench seating area I suggested, that's lit by a quirky porthole window, is the perfect place for family and extra guests to gather.
So now it's dining, kitchen, and then proper, lovely, cosy communal sitting room.
The old dining room, which felt more like a corridor, is now an extra living room.
Oh, look at this.
Come on in.
And the corner sofa.
What are you doing buying
shopping.
new furniture for a house that you're about to leave?
Oh, yes.
It's nice, isn't it?
In your dreams. I'm
Right.
just telling you, Phil, there's no listing it going on round here.
But this is just half the transformation. Where a woodshed and garage once stood, a new corridor leads into a fantastic space. Flexible for dentists or guests, but currently a cosy snug.
Come on in.
So this is Dennis's room.
Potentially.
It's lovely. It's just how I imagined it, really.
It was genius putting in the wood-burning stove because it makes it such a cosy room.
I love the ceiling.
It has really worked. It's really worked.
It works on all levels.
Yeah.
The guys have gone over budget, spending almost 80 grand, not the original 60. And the space is perfect. But then, so was the last house I showed them. I couldn't call this one either way.
I know I've found you the house of your dreams in the country, and Kirstie has created you the house of your dreams here. So
Yeah.
you're in a great position, whatever you decide to do.
But
And we were
one
still
way...
deciding up to a few days ago, really, weren't we?
I'm still deciding now.
There was a bit of a curveball when you found us the cottage.
Yeah. And it's do we move and go for the dream, which is the cottage in the country, or do we stay in a house that blood, sweat and tears have got it to this point and I absolutely love. So one way or another, I'm going to be broken-hearted.
I'm proud of what we've done here. I'm proud of what you've done here, Carol. You've done a beautiful job, and I know it's been really hard.
I can't do this. I'll cry.
I'm going to cry.
Don't cry.
I'm going to cry.
So will you just get on with it?
We're sticking to what we said.
Come on, then. Are you going to love it?
Or list it.
Shall I say? All things considered, and there's been a lot to consider, we are, in fact, going to list it.
I think it's the right. I think it's the right decision. It's fine. I think it's the right decision. I do. I'm proud of what we've done here, but
It's been worth it.
it looks lovely. Someone else will live here and love it.
If it wasn't for that cottage and the area and what it means to us, we wouldn't even consider it, would we?
We wouldn't move for any other house.
3 years later, we expected to see Carol and Andrew settled in the cottage. But it turns out their old house was where their hearts truly lay.
We put the house on the market and then actually we just didn't feel settled about it. We only left it on for 10 days and then we decided we were definitely not going to go.
Things like the kids' schools and, practical matters, we decided that we're going to stay here, really.
Yep.
Plus, we love the house anyway, so...
Yeah, you got your way in the end. I'll always have a soft spot for that cottage. And it did kind of feel a bit like it was supposed to be.
Phil finding that house was quite incredible, really.
Yeah. My dad is very independent.
We actually built this for him to be able to stay at the end of the day if he was unwell. He's been able to live here and sort of be with us, but be away from us as well.
And actually it being attached to the house really worked as well, because our concern about it being up the garden was how separate he'd be. He's the person that uses it the most, but also we had family stay in it, and my nieces and nephews have all stayed in it for a few days at a time.
It's been well used.
There's been lots around my dad, and that's really worked for him, but I'm also mindful of my mum. It's how do I make space for both of them, really, because they're both on their own.
So the cabin up the garden might come into play.
Well, it feels like there's an open door policy at this house. I might move in myself.
It worked, that space. In terms of
Yes.
a transformation, yeah, it's a lot of money they spent, but it utterly, utterly, utterly transformed that house.
Yeah. And the garden room, I mean, that had just a myriad of different uses.
Yeah.
It could have evolved with them as time went by.
Yeah.